My girlfriend said, "If you go on that trip, I won't be here." I replied, "Okay," packed my bag. Anyway, watched her accuse me of choosing another woman, and let her go silent for days. When I returned, I learned why she really hated my friend. I'm 26M and I honestly don't know what to do about this situation with my girlfriend Lauren, 26F. We've been together for 3 years and things have been mostly good, but lately I'm starting to feel like we're completely incompatible when it comes to the things that matter to me. I'm really into anime, classic films, board games, and gaming. I have this close group of friends that I met at a film festival a few years ago, and we've been hanging out regularly ever since. We do anime watch-alongs every week, play board games, discuss movies we've seen, that kind of thing. It's probably the most genuine friendship I've ever had with people who actually share my interests. Lauren has always been pretty dismissive of my hobbies. She thinks they're childish, and that I should grow up and find more mature interests. When I invite her to join our activities, she either outright refuses or shows up with this attitude like she's doing me a huge favor, making snide comments the whole time. Meanwhile, I've bent over backwards to get into her interests. She loves reality TV and celebrity gossip, which honestly isn't my thing at all, but I'll sit through hours of The Bachelor just so we can spend quality time together. But she won't extend the same courtesy to me. The biggest issue is my friend Violet. Violet is 28F and she's been part of our group since the beginning. She's really into the same stuff we are and she's become a close friend over the years. But Lauren absolutely cannot stand her. Lauren calls Violet a pick-me girl, but when I ask for specific examples, she just says, "Girls can tell these things," and refuses to elaborate. She's convinced Violet is only friends with our group because she wants male attention, but I've never seen any evidence of this. So here's what's happening that's got me stressed out. Our friend group has been planning to go to this anime convention this weekend. We're all really excited. Voice actor panels, rare film screenings, vendors selling art and collectibles. We booked an Airbnb together to split costs. I asked Lauren if she wanted to come, knowing she'd probably say no but wanting to include her. She not only refused, but acted like I was insane for asking. "You want me to waste my weekend watching grown adults dress up as cartoon characters?" Absolutely not. I suggested we could get our own hotel room nearby so she'd be comfortable, but we could still hang with my friends during the day. She shot that down too. "I'm not going to enable your obsession with juvenile entertainment. And I'm definitely not going anywhere that Violet will be." That's when things got ugly. Lauren started accusing me of protecting Violet, and said me wanting to go was proof that I have feelings for her. When I tried to explain this is a group trip with 4 other people, she lost it. "If you go on this trip," she said, "you're choosing Violet over me, and I'll act accordingly." I asked what she meant by that, but she just kept repeating, "You're choosing Violet over me, and I'll act accordingly." I'm honestly at a loss. This is something I've been looking forward to for months. It's a chance to hang out with my closest friends and enjoy things we all love. I don't understand how going to a convention with a group is the same as choosing another woman over my girlfriend. I feel like I'm always the one making compromises. I watch her shows. I skip friend hangouts when she wants to do something else. I've toned down my enthusiasm for my hobbies because they seem to annoy her. And now she's basically telling me I can't go on a trip with friends because one of them is a woman she doesn't like. The thing that gets to me is she's never given me a concrete reason for hating Violet. When I ask what Violet has done wrong, Lauren just says girls know, or she's fake, without examples. It feels like she's decided Violet is a threat based on her own insecurity. What would you guys do? Am I being unreasonable for wanting to go? Or is Lauren right that I'm prioritizing my friends over our relationship? Update 1. Thanks for all the responses. A lot of you pointed out this seems like a control issue rather than jealousy, and after last night's conversation, I think you're right. I decided to sit Lauren down for one final honest conversation about the trip and our relationship. I told her I respected her feelings, but giving me an ultimatum didn't feel healthy. "I'm not dismissing your concerns," I said. "But asking me to choose between you and my friends doesn't feel like compromise. It feels like you're trying to control who I spend time with." She immediately got defensive. "So you're choosing them over me. I should have expected that." "I'm not choosing anyone over anyone," I said. "I'm asking if we can find middle ground. This is important to me." I offered one more time for her to come with us, either staying at the Airbnb or getting our own hotel room. I even suggested I could drive separately and leave early if she got bored. She turned down every suggestion. I'm not going anywhere near that convention, and I don't want you there either. Why? What exactly are you afraid will happen? I'm afraid you'll realize you'd rather be with someone who shares your childish interests than someone who cares about building a mature relationship. That hit hard because it made me realize Lauren doesn't just dislike my hobbies, she actively resents them. She sees them as competition. Lauren, I can care about you and my friends and interests. These aren't mutually exclusive. They are when your friend is obviously trying to steal you away. What has Violet actually done? Give me one specific example. She couldn't. Just kept saying, girls can tell, and she's fake, without concrete evidence. We went in circles for over an hour. She insisted if I really loved her, I wouldn't put her in this position. I tried explaining that if she really loved me, she'd want me to have friends and interests that made me happy. Finally, she said something that made me realize this isn't about the trip at all. I hope choosing Violet is worth it. I hope she makes you happy when you're sitting alone watching cartoons. What does that mean? It means the only conversation you'll be having when you get back is with four walls. I won't be here anymore. So cold and calculated. Like she'd been planning this threat and was waiting to see if I'd call her bluff. You're really going to end our 3-year relationship over a weekend trip? I'm ending it because you care more about your fake friends than me. The trip is just proof. When I suggested we could talk when I got back, maybe try couples therapy, she just repeated herself. The only conversation you'll be having is with four walls. I won't be here. She kept saying, I hope choosing Violet is worth it, like she'd already decided this was about picking another woman over her, not about maintaining friendships and interests. Since our conversation, she's basically stopped talking to me. She reads my texts but doesn't respond. When I try to bring up the trip or our relationship, she says she's too disappointed to discuss it. I think she's hoping I'll panic and cancel to get her to talk to me again. But I'm starting to think this might be showing me who she really is. If she's willing to end our relationship over me spending a weekend with friends, maybe we were never as compatible as I thought. I've been quietly preparing for the possibility she'll follow through. I moved important documents and valuables to a friend's place and took photos of the apartment in case there are issues when I get back. Part of me still hopes we can work this out. But another part realizes I've been walking on eggshells for months, constantly editing myself to avoid setting her off. That's not healthy. The trip is tomorrow. I'm going to go and try to have a good time with my friends. Whatever happens when I get back, at least I'll know I didn't let someone control my life through threats and ultimatums. Update 2. I went on the trip, and Lauren's reaction was somehow even worse than expected. But it also revealed things about her character that I'm glad I found out now rather than later. First, the trip itself was great. The convention was everything we hoped. Amazing panels, rare film screenings, incredible art and collectibles. My friends and I had an awesome time just nerding out without anyone making us feel bad about it. And Violet? She was exactly the same as always. Friendly, enthusiastic about what we were seeing, and completely appropriate. She spent most of the weekend talking about this guy she's been seeing from her yoga class. If she's trying to steal me away from Lauren, she's doing a terrible job. But while I was gone, Lauren apparently decided to go nuclear. I came back Sunday evening to find the apartment exactly as I'd left it. Lauren hadn't moved out like she threatened, but over the next day, I started getting messages from friends asking what was going on with my relationship. Turns out Lauren had been busy. She posted vague Instagram stories about 3 years of love not being worth more than a weekend with another woman. She messaged several mutual friends telling them I was staying in a house with a female friend, and strongly implying something inappropriate was happening. But the worst part was what she did to Violet directly. One of my friends forwarded me screenshots of messages Lauren sent to Violet. They started with this fake woman-to-woman tone, saying she wanted to clear the air and have an honest conversation between girls. Then they got nasty fast. Lauren accused Violet of trying to break up a happy relationship and said she needed to back off and find her own man instead of going after taken ones. She told Violet she was pathetic for hanging around a group of men and that everyone could see what she was really after. Lauren also messaged 2 other people in our friend group, trying to get them to confirm her version of events. She wanted them to say Violet had been flirting with me or acting inappropriately during the trip. Here's where her plan completely backfired. The friend who forwarded the Violet screenshots also sent them to everyone else in our group. We all read exactly what Lauren had said, and it was so obviously unhinged and manipulative that nobody bought her story. Violet handled it perfectly. She responded politely once, saying she was sorry Lauren was upset but nothing inappropriate had happened, then blocked her. No drama, no engaging with the crazy, just a clean boundary. The other two people Lauren contacted were actually offended she was trying to get them to lie for her. They both told me they'd never seen inappropriate behavior from Violet, and that Lauren's messages made them uncomfortable. Both have now cut contact with Lauren completely, so in trying to turn my friends against me, Lauren ended up turning them against herself. And she revealed she's the kind of person who will create fake drama and try to manipulate others when she doesn't get her way. When I confronted her about the messages, she didn't even try to deny it. I was trying to protect our relationship, by lying about me and harassing my friends, by making sure everyone knows what kind of person Violet really is. What kind of person is that? Because from where I'm sitting, Violet acted with dignity while you sent unhinged messages to people you barely know. She couldn't answer that, just kept insisting I was naive. And Violet was manipulating me, even though she still couldn't give a single example. The whole thing has been such an eye-opener. I thought Lauren was just jealous and insecure, but this level of vindictiveness and manipulation is something else. She was willing to damage my friendships and reputation to get her way, and when that didn't work, she doubled down instead of apologizing. I'm honestly relieved her true colors came out before things went further. If this is how she handles conflict in a dating relationship, I can't imagine how she'd behave if we were married or had kids. Final update. This will definitely be my last update, and honestly, the truth that came out makes this whole situation so much worse than I ever imagined. After everything that happened in my last update with Lauren harassing Violet and trying to turn our friends against me, I thought the drama was over. Lauren had been radio silent since I called her out, and I figured she was finally done trying to control my life. But 3 days ago, Violet asked if we could talk privately. We met up for coffee, and she looked really uncomfortable. "Ethan," she said, "I need to tell you something about Lauren that I probably should have told you a long time ago. Turns out there's a reason Lauren hates Violet, and it has absolutely nothing to do with me or our relationship. 2 years ago, before I even met my current friend group, Violet was dating this guy from her work. They'd been together for about 8 months and things were getting pretty serious. Violet really cared about him and thought they had a future together. Lauren and this guy worked at the same company. Lauren knew he had a girlfriend, but she didn't know it was Violet at first. Lauren started flirting with him, inviting him out for drinks, doing the whole "I'm just being friendly" routine while actively trying to seduce him. When he mentioned his girlfriend's name and that she was really into movies and anime, Lauren realized it was Violet. Instead of backing off, Lauren doubled down. She told him that Violet was immature and probably just using him for attention, and that he deserved someone more sophisticated. Lauren basically launched a campaign to break them up. She would text him constantly, show up at his work events, and gradually convinced him that Violet wasn't good enough for him. Eventually, he broke up with Violet and started dating Lauren. I was devastated, Violet told me, not just because I lost him, but because I couldn't understand how someone could be that calculating and cruel to a person they didn't even know. The relationship between Lauren and him lasted about 4 months before he realized what kind of person Lauren really was. He tried to get back together with Violet, but by then she'd moved on and didn't trust him anymore. When Violet met me and found out I was dating Lauren, she was shocked, but decided not to say anything. She figured it was ancient history, and she didn't want to interfere with my relationship based on her past experience. But when Lauren started harassing me last week, Violet said, I realized she thinks I'm trying to do to her what she did to me. She's been paranoid this whole time that I'm planning some kind of revenge. It all makes so much sense now. Lauren's obsession with Violet wasn't about protecting our relationship. It was about her own guilt and fear. She knows exactly what she's capable of doing to break up a couple because she's done it before. She's been projecting her own manipulative tactics onto Violet this entire time. That's why she could never give me specific examples of Violet's bad behavior. That's why she kept saying vague things like, girls know these things, and she's fake. Lauren couldn't explain what Violet was doing wrong because Violet wasn't doing anything wrong. Lauren was just paranoid about payback for her own past actions. I asked Violet why she didn't tell me this earlier. Because I hoped I was wrong about Lauren, she said. I hoped maybe she'd changed, or that her relationship with you was different. I didn't want to be the person who tried to break up your relationship based on something that happened years ago. But she didn't change, I said. No, if anything, she's gotten worse. At least with him, she was subtle about it. With you, she just went straight to ultimatums and manipulation. I felt sick to my stomach. Lauren had spent months making me feel guilty for having a friendship with someone she had actively harmed. She'd made me question my own judgment and defend myself against accusations that were completely baseless. And the whole time, she was the one with the history of breaking up relationships. I called Lauren that night. For the first time in days, she actually answered. I know the real reason you hate Violet, I said. Silence. I know about your ex. I know what you did. More silence. Then, she told you. Yeah, she told me. And now I understand everything. This was never about me choosing Violet over you. This was about you being terrified that someone might treat you the way you treated her. You don't understand, Lauren said, and her voice was shaky. She's been waiting for her chance to get back at me. The moment I saw her in your friend group, I knew she was planning something. Lauren, she didn't even know we were together until months after we met. She's not some mastermind plotting revenge. She's just a person who likes the same movies and games we do. You're naive. No, you're paranoid. And you've spent our entire relationship trying to isolate me from my friends because you were afraid one of them might find out who you really are. That seemed to hit her, because she got quiet for a long time. I'm not proud of what I did back then, she finally said. But you'd do it again if you thought someone was threatening your relationship. I was protecting us. No, you were destroying us. The irony is that Violet never tried to break us up, but your paranoia about her did. I told Lauren that I was done, not just with our relationship, but with trying to understand or excuse her behavior. Someone who could systematically destroy another person's relationship and then spend years being paranoid about karma isn't someone I can trust with my heart. She started crying and asking if we could work things out, but I was already mentally done. How do you rebuild trust with someone when you find out their entire perception of reality is warped by their own guilt? The aftermath has been interesting. When word got out about what really happened with Violet's ex, Violet didn't spread it around, but Lauren apparently confessed to one of her friends who couldn't keep it quiet. Several other people came forward with similar stories about Lauren's behavior in past relationships. Turns out this is a pattern. Lauren has a history of targeting men who are already in relationships, convincing them their girlfriends aren't good enough, and then moving on when she gets bored. I wasn't her first victim, and Violet's ex wasn't either. Some of Lauren's own friends have started distancing themselves from her, not just because of what she did to me, but because they're realizing she's been manipulative in other relationships too. Meanwhile, I've never felt more grateful for my friend group. They all rallied around both me and Violet after learning the truth, and we've actually become closer because of this whole experience. Violet and I have talked about the situation more, and she's told me she's proud of how I handled everything. You could have given in to her demands, she said, but you trusted your own judgment and your friends. That takes strength. I'm doing really well now. I feel like I've learned something important about red flags and manipulation tactics. More importantly, I've learned to trust my instincts when something feels wrong in a relationship. As for Lauren, I heard through mutual friends that she's been reaching out to other ex-boyfriends, trying to explain her side of various situations. I think the exposure of her pattern of behavior has finally forced her to confront who she really is, though I doubt she'll actually change. The most important lesson from all of this: when someone shows you who they are through their actions, believe them. Lauren's inability to give concrete reasons for hating Violet, her immediate jump to manipulation and ultimatums, her willingness to harass my friends, all of that was showing me exactly who she was. I just wish I'd seen it sooner. But better late than never, right? Edit. Several people are asking if I feel bad for not knowing about what happened with Violet's ex earlier. Honestly, no. Violet was trying to be mature about ancient history, and Lauren should have been the one to disclose her past if it was affecting our relationship. Edit 2. For people asking about her ex, according to Violet, he reached out to apologize after hearing about Lauren's behavior toward me. Apparently he's in a healthy relationship now and has learned from his mistakes. Edit 3. I'm not interested in getting back together with Lauren, regardless of any apologies or explanations she might offer. Some behaviors reveal character in ways that can't be undone. Edit 4. To anyone who's experienced something similar, trust your gut. If someone can't give you concrete reasons for their demands but insists you should comply anyway, that's a red flag the size of a football field.